What's up, guys, and welcome back to the channel. You can see we're welding together some piping, some aluminum, some stainless, and this is going on Troy's Camaro behind me. I haven't really done a lot of updates on this thing since the torque boxes from Tick Performance was the last video we did on it, but just had a good opportunity this week to just start hammering out the turbo kit and stuff. So just filmed little glimpses of the welding process of it and just been going full throttle with it, and here's what we got. So just gonna kind of go over why we changed everything on this setup. There wasn't anything wrong with what Parker Speed did with the hot side or the turbo kit the first time, but it just wouldn't fit this chassis. If you remember, Troy, his purple car was purchased as a roller, and it was already done in the front here, and all the bars were kind of different than what we have them on this car. So he brought all his good stuff. I think his header was crushed in from where the tower was pushed into the motor, but his hot side was good. So he brought it, put it on here. Of course, it didn't fit with the way our front end kit is and stuff. And it also, you know, completely crushed his downpipe when he wrecked, so he didn't have that anyway. And he said, you know, cut up the hot side, whatever you got to do. We also had a complete turbo kit from Josh Burkhart's original build in this car before he sold it to Troy, using stock manifolds. Had cold side, wastegates, blow-off valve, the whole deal. So rather than use anything off of those setups, I told Troy it would be best just to try to sell both those setups and use the money to put towards the upgrades that we're doing beyond what's already done to this car. So fortunately, a couple of our customers picked them up pretty quick, and we was able to throw that money back into what Troy's changing on the setup to make it even better than what it is. So as far as the layout, I sent Troy 2 or 3 pictures of the turbo position, and I said I think I found a spot for the turbocharger. And then a couple days later, I'd find another position I liked, and then another position, and so on. He kept, you know, sharing different things on Facebook on how he was getting excited, but I was always changing my mind. So whenever I lay a setup out, I'm fighting myself on trying to make it look as good as I can for what they're doing with the car. I try to make every car kind of unique in its own way as far as its layout and the way I twist the hot side pipes around or whatnot. And I've been a fan of the forward-facing turbos in the engine bay for years. I think it looks really slick, and that's just what I've been kind of stuck on. So this is where the turbo ended up on this setup, and Troy's cool with it. But my goal with every engine bay layout that we do is to make it look as good and as impressive as possible for what they've got going on. So you can be ugly and fast, but not when you leave here. You're gonna look good and be fast. Because if a setup is just thrown together, then it's a bad reflection of our shop, and nothing that comes out of here, I want somebody to think, you know, they didn't really think that out or something like that. I don't want anything like that to be said, and so I take pride in how we lay things out in the engine bay. So the only thing we did cut up from his original setup was the flange for the blow-off valve, because the cold side pipe It was basically hooked straight to the throttle body before, and there wasn't much waste going to happen. You know, we was going to throw away $10 worth of aluminum to get that flange out of there, so we did. And we put the blow-off valve on the back side of the cold pipe where it looks a little bit cleaner, because that thing is huge. We used his original 66mm wastegates from Precision. Got those gusseted in good. Kind of tucked it on the other side of the bar from the fuel cell there. Kind of out of the way. The downpipe, we're lacking one 90-degree bend, which will come down and kind of bend out of here and come up like a little slight bullhorn, kind of like grub worm. But Race Part Solutions is waiting on some material. We run their dual seal clamp up here, which is what Troy had originally anyway, so it already had a flange on the throttle body. We also run their billet compressor outlet adapter down here that steps it straight up to 4-inch. Most of the material we got from them, we did get a couple of these pieces from Vibrant, which our Vibrant rep was by here earlier this week. Super nice guy. But everything I've got from them, you know, I know that a lot of their stuff is outsourced, but it's been good quality. All their aluminum bends and stuff, they offer some super tight radius, like 4-inch on a 3-inch radius, which is super tight if you need to really get in there without doing pie cuts. So that's what I did. You can see down there off the turbocharger. I'll show you more whenever we jack up the car here. But this is just kind of an overview of the top of the setup here. So let's jack the car up and look underneath. So just looking at everything underneath, you see the wastegates redirected kind of straight towards the ground. There's a underside look at the support and the billet flange. There's a double slip. You can see these 4 on 3-inch radius. Really helps not having to do pie cuts in the aluminum. And there's where the wastegate dumps over here. But that's pretty much it. Like I said, we've not done the transmission cross member, drive shaft loop, or wishbone yet, because we're doing some product development on some specific stuff we're going to offer for the F-body in the near future. So stay tuned for that. I do have the bar across there ready for the wishbone, so that part's out of the way. So I'll try to keep videos uploaded every week. It's kind of a struggle to make videos and actually get work done unless you have a dedicated cameraman that's actually filming you working. It's kind of like it breaks your focus trying to video everything that needs to be videoed and get the work done. So trying to do both, trying to keep everybody interested in the channel. So just bear with me. So subscribe and help me out. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week.